But a group of volunteers with Fellowship Bible Church in Dallas have dedicated their time to changing lives with a mission to Sudan. Channel 8's Brett Shipp reports they are back tonight from northern Uganda, where South Sudanese refugees have fled to survive.
On any given Sunday, at Fellowship Bible Church in Dallas, the faithful flock to services in the most modern of settings. Yet amid the harmony, a handful of followers can still hear a cry for help from the other side of the globe. Destination Northern Uganda. Pastor Mike Congrove and 3 church volunteers, Cheryl Reed, Greg Myers, and Dr. Nathan Long, all giving up 10 days to serve the church's long-term missionary commitment called Empower Sudan. Sudan, a country split north and south by a 22-year-old civil war. One that erupted again last December, driving South Sudanese villagers, supported by the Dallas Church, hundreds of miles to a refugee camp across the border to northern Uganda.
These kids are traumatized. They've seen dead bodies, they've seen shooting, they may have even been shot at. Some are orphans, some have lost at least one parent. There's not many fathers here. Fathers are either dead or they've gone back.
Leaving the older men and women to provide with little help from the outside.
This is the sorghum that they're being given by the UN. And what they're claiming is that this sorghum is old. It's been sitting in a storeroom for a long time, and it's making them sick.
Dealing with traumatized, hungry, and sick refugees on this trip is made more difficult by Dr. Long's discovery.
Our medicines did not come on the plane, delayed by a few days, so we don't have our medicine right now to do our mobile clinic.
As it turned out, his medicines never arrived, meaning Long can only diagnose the sick and injured and advise them on how to care for themselves.
This is a little girl who has cerebral palsy, and Dr. Nathan just diagnosed that, is giving them some advice on what to do now that the mother knows the diagnosis.
This group of children, he determines, are sick with malaria. This boy has a broken foot.
Even if there's little tiny bones here broken, it's okay. But this will be painful for maybe a week, and then he'll be able to walk very good.
Apart from the obvious medical needs, the team notices a critical lack of schools and teachers.
We arranged for 2 teachers to work with some of the people that we know to keep a school going.
Equally important to the team, meeting the refugees' spiritual needs.
We pray that your name would be made famous in this village.
Cheryl Reed's primary role is not only to minister to the villagers, but to help teach others to lead their own church services. Myers, who is not a pastor, found himself becoming one by default.
The leader told me, hey, we need some people to preach. And he pointed to me and said, are you willing to preach? And I said, I haven't done that before to myself, but to them I said, sure, I'll do it.
After a week of working with the refugees, overcoming hardship, and establishing relationships, signs of progress. The boys were busy playing with a soccer ball given to them by Myers. Children were intrigued by the cameras and inspired by the attention. Adults were enriched by the knowledge that some part of the outside world understands their plight.
And we are now suffering. We're trying to do what we can, but that's why we're here.
And also why someday soon they will return to Africa. Brett Shipp, Channel 8 News.